Hi, Big Tractor Power fans. I'm at the 2022 National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm here with Mark from Case IH, and we're going to talk about the new Patriot sprayer series. It's definitely getting a lot of attention, bold new look, and then a lot of new features that farmers are going to like. So Mark, what can you tell us about the 4450 that's here?
So the first thing, I guess, for folks that have been around the Patriot product before, you're going to notice is a completely new look. Both the front and the rear hoods have been redesigned and have a lot of bold, edgy styling to them, which is quite a difference from the smooth fiberglass hoods that we had in the past. So this is an all-new look for Case IH, and as you see future product introductions on tractors and whatnot, it's going to sport a lot of this same styling. Patriot was just lucky enough to be tapped to be first in line with this new look, so that part is really exciting.
Looks pretty good. And I noticed just right behind you, you have the tank fill up right here at the nose, so that's going to be pretty handy if you're coming out of corn and need to fill up on the roadside. Or
yeah, absolutely. When it comes to tendering, we have a host of different options. The primary location would be at the service center, which is located on the left-hand side between the wheels. But in those instances where you want to nose up to your tender and fill without having to fold the boom in, the front fill is a really nice option to have. And part of the new thing with it is now an air cleanout. So after you have filled your tank and have the valve shut off, we can actually use air to blow that tube clean and push it right back to the tank.
Oh, very nice. And we can see right here you've got all of your controls right here on the mount.
Yep. So as another option, this one is actually configured with a fill flow meter. So as you are adding fluid into your product tank, it's going to give you a live count as to how many gallons that you've added, as well as an update into the actual tank volume. And that will also be shown on the rate controller within the cab.
Okay. Well, can we take a look at the side fill-up as well?
Absolutely.
All right. So this is the primary fill-up point where you're going to mix your chemicals in, and
yeah, so every machine will be set up with a service center in this location, and this is kind of the primary spot. So you have your main product tank fill with a 3-inch connection here. Your rinse tank would be filled through here. Now we actually have two different versions of this service center as well. One that would be manual rinse, where you'll see an awful lot more of these manual turn valves that direct flow in the appropriate case. This one is set up with an option called automated rinse, where from filling to rinsing to flushing, we would all be controlling that through this display at the service center, or we can do the same thing through the rate controller inside the cab.
And it looks like it's pretty well protected too. I know a lot of times you're spraying wheat in the early spring or herbicide and it gets pretty muddy out there.
Yep. You know, so we're doing our best to try to keep things as protected as we can. So all the vehicles come with fenders. We have an option that is actually new to the 50 series as well, as adding a mud flap, and that's really meant to help keep that mud and field debris off the machine.
Very nice. And I know you have a new suspension system as well on these.
We do. For roughly since 1991, the Patriot sprayer has been known for its trailing link suspension. Now, as machines have gotten bigger, their payloads have gotten larger, they're traveling faster, there was an opportunity to really look at what could we do from a chassis suspension perspective to give the operator a smooth and comfortable ride. And that's really the clean sheet of paper we started with and ended up with this 4-bar linkage. And that's something that we can actually take a look at as we get underneath the machine here.
Sure.
So, as we'll ship them, this would all be covered with a nice polished shield, but for demonstration purposes, we have the shield removed. And all of your rotation of your suspension components are going to be through 4 different pins, where there'd be one there, and there's a 3rd one down in this front corner, and the 4th one would be right here. And that whole system is going to rod forwards and backwards as well as up and down, and that's what's going to handle our vertical and horizontal field loads. Now, to provide the shock dampening and the ride comfort is going to be handled through the airbag suspension that is on here as well. Lastly, on the back side of that airbag is a shock absorber, and that is going to provide the control and and the planted feel that you're going to get during those rapid acceleration and deceleration events, where on a machine that did not have a feature like that, is they tend to get more of a sawhorse type action. This will make that sprayer stay very much in control and give you that ultimate ride.
That's a great feature. Where I live, they spray wheat 5 times, and then we double crop beans, and that gets sprayed twice.
Right.
So you get some pretty good ruts out there by August.
Right.
And that looks like it's nice for getting over them.
The nice piece, with all of these movable joints, is to provide an easy access for lubrication. So the machines are all set up with remote grease banks. There will be 5 zerks up in this top portion here, and then 4 down in the lower quadrant here. And the nice part is, once you get that suspension shielding on place, all of those are still accessible.
Very nice. So we can see this is a pretty tall machine. What kind of clearance does the 450 offer, the 4450?
The 4450 comes in at 56 inches, and then our smaller two, 4350 and 32, would be at 53 inches.
Okay.
So providing lots of opportunity and giving you the clearance that we need all the way up into those late season applications.
Here we can see the 135-foot wide boom folded up here on the 4450. What is your total range on your booms on this model?
So basically, all the Patriot offering is going to be available in either a 90, 100, 120, 132, or 135 foot. So as machines get bigger, as booms get longer, as machines travel faster, we're really looking to enhance that productivity. Part of that productivity story is going to be a change into our product delivery system as well. And that's going to happen with this little demonstrator within the boom tube and the nozzle bodies that are on there. One of the biggest changes is going to be the input size from this tube into that nozzle body. Prior versions were at 3/8 of an inch opening, and these have gone to 21/32. What that means is about 21% increase in flow capability. So we're either to be able to put more flow through the body, or be able to travel at a faster speed at a consistent rate. So again, really driving that productivity story. And then the last piece would be the pulse width modulation technology that we can attach to here. That would be our AIM Command Flex 2 advanced spray technology. So what we're looking at there is the ability to hold a constant rate and a constant pressure, which is going to give us that consistent droplet size over a wide speed range. It really allows the operator to drive according to conditions and make sure that we're getting the coverage we're looking for. Some enhancements are going to be individual nozzle on-off control for superior accuracy. There's higher flow rate through these as well, up to 17% increase over prior models. We've got the ability for turn compensation. And then lastly, kind of a new change for us is a change in operating frequency, where we're going to switch from a 10 hertz pulse up to a 20 hertz. So basically 20 times a second, we've got a nozzle or a poppet inside that nozzle pulsing to maintain our application rate.
I watched that on Case IH's YouTube, and it just really looks like an umbrella effect, just pulsing it out there and getting a really good coverage.
Right, and that's one thing that folks tend to maybe not realize. This is not brand new technology. We've been in this AIM Command spray technology realm for about 25 years now. And as folks get to experience the benefits from that, they're seeing the payback and the advantages by adopting that type of technology.
So let's take a look at the cab here on the 4450. So you can see it's easy access here right from the step, and has the premium red seat. Nice bank of air conditioners.
All right, so inside the cab, one of the biggest changes folks are going to notice is not only the change in color. It's a lighter wheat color interior, so it's a little bit brighter on the inside. As you mentioned, the luxury cab sports a red leather and wheat colored seat, as well as the instructional seat, and then the new black carpeted floor mat. Probably the biggest change that folks are going to see is within the armrest itself. Now the armrest basic shape comes right out of the AFS Connect Steiger and Magnum tractors, but all of the buttons and switches that are housed on it are pretty much sprayer specific. The placement of them was really driven based on customer feedback. So we brought in a group of 30 folks and basically played, stick the the sticky note where you wanted a specific function to be. So all of the stuff that's here is really driven by folks that actually make their living in the seat of a sprayer. Most of your commonly used functions are going to be housed on the multi-function handle. A couple of the really neat features here is the way the drive system works is it is a spring-centered hydrostatic handle. Your top speed set is going to be through the scroll wheel down on the bottom here, this orange dial. And then we have the ability to set two different speed presets through these orange buttons here as well. So you can have one for what would be considered field speed, and then maybe one for a turnaround speed. And then lastly, at the base where this U-shaped button is, this will be a forward reverse quick shuttle. So if we're backing up into a corner, I can press this button, the sprayer will stop and then start propelling forward without me ever having to move that handle. So a really neat feature. By the time we get all said and done, between the quick shuttle, the two speed presets, as well as the scroll wheel here, is you can really drive this thing with your thumb. There's no need to move the handle again. And then a lot of different other functions here. We've got our engine and traction control functions here, your infotainment buttons along the encoder dial. The ability to extend or retract our axles is going to be through these three switches here. And then we have a host of 4 different buttons in these gray switches right here that's actually operator configurable. They can go in and select the feature that's most important to them and set it up to run with those push buttons.
Very nice. And I just noticed, like the AFS Connect Steiger, the cab is very clean. Everything's kind of condensed as far as your screens, and just a very nice open view out the front.
Right. So, within the displays themselves, we're set up with actually 3 different displays. We'll start with the one that's top and center, and that's going to be your readouts for like your fuel and DEF levels, your status icons, your speeds, all of those presets. Our vehicle interaction is going to be through the AFS Pro 1200 display, and that will be things for your lighting memory, your axle adjustment, your radio, your HVAC, all those machine-specific controls. And then lastly, with the Viper display will be your product and guidance interaction. Excuse me. All the machines are set up with AFS Connect, so we have the ability to have machine data going from the Pro 1200 display into that AFS Connect portal, and then even from the data that would run through the Viper 4 Plus, our product and guidance selections, those will actually port to a Slingshot portal, and then that is tied into our AFS Connect as well.
Oh, that's a great feature. And I guess just looking out the back here, we have a big tank. What kind of capacity does the 4450 offer?
So the 4450 itself is 1,600 gallons as far as product tank capacity. And in our other 2 models, the 4350 would be 1,200 gallon, and then our 3250 would be either 800 or 1,000. So we've got pretty much a tank size to fit about every operation.
No, that gives you a lot of acres to cover.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much, Mark, for the tour of this machine. And when can we expect to start seeing these on dealer lots and out in the field?
So the anticipated shipment now is late Q3, so sometime around that September-ish time frame, they should start showing up with dealer lots.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting out in the field with one of these and doing a ride along and seeing it at work.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time today.